Hi everyone, Mike here. Although VLOOKUP has been around for 3 years now, not every version of Excel includes it. And even if your version does, you might be creating an Excel file for someone who's using an older version, which is exactly what happened to me recently. So there's still a need to know how to use VLOOKUP. One of the problems with VLOOKUP is because it relies on column positions, if you add or delete columns in your lookup table, your formula will break. In this video, I'm going to show you one approach to stop that happening. If you want to follow along, you can download a copy of the demo file from the link in the description below. I'm going to start by actually showing you the problem to be solved. I've entered a VLOOKUP formula into B2 that looks up the contract renewal date for the employee that's in B1. Notice that the third parameter of the VLOOKUP formula is 5, and that's because the renewal date is the 5th column. Now watch what happens when I insert a blank column. I'm going to select column G and just insert a blank column. The 5 is a fixed value, so it doesn't change when the columns are inserted within the lookup table. So now the 5th column is colour. What I'll need to do is edit the formula, change the 5 to a 6, because now the contract renewal is the 6th column. If I then delete the blank column, or any other column for that matter, I get an error. And I'll need to edit the formula again and change the 6 back to a 5. So let me show you one way to solve this problem. It involves using the match function, which returns a number, the number being the position of an item within a range. For this to work, I need to make sure that the text in A2 matches the text in I1, which it does, contract renewal and contract renewal. Then I'll edit the formula and I'll replace the 5 with a match function. So if I just select the 5, delete it, and then put in match, open brackets, A2, comma, E1 to I1, comma, 0, close brackets. What that means is look at the range E1 to I1 and return the position of what is in A2. The 0 means it has to be an exact match, just like the false in VLOOKUP. So I'll enter that and I still get the correct value there, because what it's doing is looking at the VLOOKUP, it's looking up B1, looking up the employee ID, it's looking it up in column E, and when it finds it, the column number that it's got to select the result from is determined by the match function. So it's matching what's in A2 with what's in E1 to I1. So it's finding contract renewal as the 5th item in the range E1 to I1. So now if I insert another column, it does not cause the formula to break. But what about a situation where you can't match the headings? Take this one. Here I want to display in H2 the name, space, colon, space, and the colour. And I want it to be based on the employee ID in H1. The formula in H2 does just that. It looks up what's in H1 and returns what's in the 2nd column of B2 to F9 for that employee ID. Joins that to space, colon, space. Joins that to the result of another VLOOKUP. And that other VLOOKUP is looking up what's in H1 and returning what's in the 4th column of B2 to F9 for that employee ID. If I then insert a column, so if I just go to column C and insert a column, we can now see that it's broken the formula in I2. So I'll just undo that or delete the column, and go and edit the formula in I2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to again use the match function. So I will select the number 2 because that's what I want to replace with the match function. And this time it's going to be match, open brackets, C1, comma, B1 to F1, comma, 0, close brackets, which means return the position of what's in C1 from the range B1 to F1. And I'll do a similar thing with the other VLOOKUP within that formula. So select the number 4 and delete that and replace that with match, open brackets, E1, comma, B1 through to F1, comma, 0, close brackets. So that is returning the position of what's in E1, which is the word colour, within the range B1 to F1. The reason I've asked it to search for what's in C1 and search for what's in E1, I could have actually put the word name and the word colour into the formula here and here. But if I was to change the words in the headings in C1 and E1, then the formula would break as well. So I'm telling it to pick up what's in the cell C1, pick up what's in the cell E1, and tell me where, in positioning terms, that appears within the range B1 to F1. So we get Kath Silver, and then again, if I just insert a column to test it, we still get Kath Silver. Of course, using XLOOKUP solves the problem without using this hack. But as I said in the introduction, sometimes you've still got to use VLOOKUP. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a like. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you'd like to keep up to date with what I'm up to, why not sign up to my free weekly newsletter, which you can do at theexceltrainer.co.uk. But until the next time, have an excellent day.